but I'm kind of really excited to talk about this one. Oh, do I have an intro? No, I don't. Again, tis the season of spooks, you might. No, the next book I want to talk about is actually The Last Apprentice. The first one specifically because it's gets to that time of year here in New England, and I had the craving, the urge to get some New England spooky vibes, and this delivers on a lot of it. I reread this. This is young adult. Is this middle grade? I don't know. God, I don't know. It's been over a decade since I've read the last one here, and I naively thought, like, hey, maybe I'll do a series like review of it because the last one I read, I thought I read the second to last book to the series. No, actually, it turns out there's 12 books. 12. I thought there was. I think I dropped off at 6. I got some catching up to do. Whew, yeah. Ignore this, by the way. See this? See this right here? Garbage. All right, trash. No good. No good. Movies never capture the essence of their source piece. Yeah, The Last Apprentice by Joseph Delaney. Good for him for a movie deal, sure, but read the books. Read the books. Read the books. Like I said, I read these when I was a kid or teenager, maybe. Yeah, something like that. That was a long time ago. And I reread this one, and gosh darn it, I like it. I really like it. If you don't know about it, sorry, gosh, if you don't know about it, this book will. No, don't. But don't read it after dark. Okay. The powers of evil are strengthening, and only one man holds them back. Now that man needs an apprentice. Tom Ward, the seventh son of the seventh son, has been chosen. Many apprentices have come before. They have failed or fled or died. If Tom succeeds, and if he survives, he'll be the last apprentice. Wait, how does that make sense? But what if he needs an apprentice? What if he gets old and does his job and he needs an apprentice? What? He won't be. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, so it follows the story of a 12-year-old, 13. Wait, how old is this kid? How old is this child? How old is this kid? He's a kid. He's not a teenager yet. He's a young boy. And so he's the seventh son of his seventh son. So that means he has 6 older brothers, and his dad has 6 older brothers. And that's a big thing. It's a big deal because that means you are eligible for the job. Well, you're pretty much only eligible for the job of the spook. And who is the spook? He's the village Ghostbusters. That's a terrible comparison. But it's basically like he deals with all the paranormal nonsense that happens in a remote country village. He's the one that people call. People don't like him. There's a lot of taboo and whatnot surrounding talking to spooks or whatever or being associated with them, but they need him. Almost like a Witcher. Wait a minute. No, these are nothing alike, by the way. These are nothing in this sense. They probably get along though. So yeah, this kid Tom, he needs a job at the ripe old age of like 12. He needs a job, and his dad gets him one. He's got all for his brothers and whatnot. Now he needs one, and since he's the seventh son of the seventh son, he has the power, the ability, the know-how or whatever, the intuition to do this job. Apparently, you can't do it if that is not the case. And he knew, and they knew he'd do this job. There's nothing really eligible else for a kid like that, I suppose. It starts off really good. I don't think I don't know. It's just it's a good, enjoyable experience. I think this is middle grade now that I'm rereading it because there's a lot of there's a lot of holes I suppose you could poke into it, but because of its age range, you can forgive it. It doesn't shy away, I guess, from some grim things, grim subjects, but it also doesn't overly indulge in them as well, I'd say. It's really atmospheric. It's really seeped in, again, like a New England town in the middle of fall. All the leaves are gone. There's ghosts in the basement. There's There's a real hearty feel to it. I remember feeling like I really want to read this again, and I did. And I got my own copy. Again, I'm kind of in the stage in my life where I only like want books that I like and read. And if I get through the series again, I might just get like a hard copy of like this book. 'Cause it's kind of, I think it's my favorite. This video is just gonna be focused about the first book, and maybe later on I'll reread the series. I was way off. Okay, I showed you I was way off. There's a lot more books than I remember. So I don't know. Maybe I'll start this as part of a series to really look into. This probably will not be I don't know if I mentioned this. Will probably not be spoiler free because this is one I've reread recently, and we'll probably, I don't know, reread again. I just enjoy that. I don't know if I enjoy it because I think it's mostly nostalgia. Just just so you know, I think nostalgia is coloring a lot of this lens. Tom Ward as a main character, he's a kid. Sure, he makes kind of kid decisions, and some things like are it again. It's middle grade, so he makes mistakes. You normally be like, oh really? You really didn't see that coming, but you can kind of forgive him because of his naivety. The spook is a cool character. Grizzled old experienced man walking the country for decades. And he's nearing the end of his career, and he needs a young lad to help him out carry out the work. I don't think women can become spooks, which, I mean, as far as like the context of this book, sucks. I don't know. That sounds like a great occupation. Where was this when I graduated high school? I don't know. I would have done that. The storytelling and the set, like the world building, is I think quite enjoyable. It's in the first person. I kind of love like day in the life stuff. So there's a good chunk of this where it's Tom learning how to be a spook, and he does that at the OG Spooks summer cottage, and the whole cottage is protected. The cottage and the garden are protected by a boggart, which is it's a creature they have to deal with, but the spook has tamed this one, and it's a house boggart, so it's pretty benign, but it protects the property. No one can trespass, that kind of thing. Keeps them safe. Just really, like, I don't know. There's something cozy, a little cozy about this. And then they get into they get into the conflict of it, and the conflict is there's a witch. They're a whole thing of problems. Witches are a problem in it, but like there's some gray area that's later introduced, especially with this character coming up, Alice. I gotta say, I remember so specifically when I was reading these when I was younger that I did not like Alice. There was something about her attitude that just irked me wrong, and I thought like, oh, maybe I was just a teenager, a kid too, and I'm like, maybe you're projecting a little bit. No, I reread this as an adult. Yeah, she still bothers me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. There's a lot left to be desired in her actions and what she does. She presents a really cool concept, but I maybe this is my only critique of this book, and perhaps in how Joseph Delaney writes women characters. I've checked myself to see if this is like again, more projecting and anything like that. But she's arrogant in a way that's just so, like, come on. She does really selfish things. She's a child too, 12 or 13. So again, you can forgive a lot of these mistakes, but I remember as like the story goes on, none of that like gets a redeeming factor. So the whole thing is it starts out, the spook says witches are bad. They're just not they're not no good. They're not to be trusted. That kind of thing. And it's like, okay, so you meet this character Alice. Again, this is middle grade. Is Alice here to show us that this is wrong? Is Tom going to be the first one in this generation of spooks to challenge the status quo? And in a way, he does. does do that. But there's nothing in it that makes me like root for Alice. Like I want to like her because she's one of the only female characters, predominant female characters in this, but she does very unlikable things for mixed reasons. And you think like when this book ends, she does help with the right thing. She's related. The Revenge of the witch that needs revenge upon. She's related to that the clan, the coven. She's related to it. So again, you kind of, I think this was his Joseph Delaney's attempt to introduce a moral grayness, but again, I think it would have worked better if, as a character, she meets the spook, she meets this young man, she could never talk to the spook because he's an old man set in his ways, but now this young guy comes along and he loves his mother and he loves his sister-in-law. He has respect for women. You think he like she opens up to him, be like, I'm a part of a coven of witches. They do awful shit. Sorry, a 12 or 13-year-old maybe not saying that. I want out. She might be wanting to change her ways, and the whole conflict between him and Alice and the spook is that she's facing prejudice and internalized bias to like find her place in this. That's not what happens. She actually does some, at the end it's okay because she's in a it's not okay, I should say. It's understandable because she's like 12, 13, and she's in a really difficult situation where she's with some dangerous people and who aren't above hurting her. They don't. I don't think it's a. I don't think there's any instances of abuse, but they use her blood. They take blood from her as part of like the scheme to get the witch back. So she's she has to participate in these things that she doesn't want to, and that's bad. But again, she's not like really out to be like I need out of this. I need your help, please. It's sympathetic in a sense, and it's more like she's playing games. She manipulates Tom in ways to help. In a way that's like she knows what she's doing. She knows what is going to happen, and she doesn't really do anything in the process of it to like try to change that. Like to show that she's really a good character just under terrible, family influence. So that's a little frustrating. It wraps up in the end in a way that you think, okay, all right, we're she's made some redeeming factors here. She's supposed to be helpful towards the spook. Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this dynamic change. I think I've only been able to get a copy of the second one as of recently. Our library is still closed from a natural disaster that happened a couple months ago, so I haven't been able to check. But I remember very strongly, she just gets worse. She makes decisions that are just like unsympathetic. And again, I don't know how I feel about that because I'm trying to find a character, a strong character in this, who's, powerful and magical in a creepy way, that I want to root for. And I don't know if Alice is ever it. That's just me reading the first and second book. Let's see what it goes on. Let's see how it changes. I might have to check. Again, I'm trying to keep in touch with my own internal biases. Ben Barnes. No, I'm thinking of Bucky Barnes. I was just like, this is one of the stupid covers that just plasters like the movie, so it's like the people in it, and I'm like, Ben Barnes. Bucky, and then I realize I'm thinking of the Winter Soldier. I'm not excited about Marvel, by the way. That's it. It's October, and if you need a spooky read that's a little gentle on the mind, that's not, again, it's not dripping in horror, but it's also really unsettling in some parts, some good old New England vibes. I gotta recommend this. I look forward to, I really hope these are as good as I remember, because I devoured these. Like, I would haunt the bookstores for these and like get hardcover editions. I really hope I like these because I'm in the era of my life where I just want to collect like hardcovers of things I like. So these would be really cool, honestly, for a collection. Yeah, wow, I think that's about it. I'm gonna go edit all of these and pray to whoever that the audio works and that I can cobble out somewhat of a video of these. Okay, bye.